beautiful. Just hearing everyone come together to sing to our God is just amazing. It's beautiful. So it's amazing to me, honestly, that singing has been a part of a way to worship God. Now, it's not the only way, of course, but singing in itself has been a part of worshiping and how we could worship. And you find this throughout the scriptures. And I began to look into singing and worship in the Bible, but there was one verse that really stood out to me. And I began to read it, and I said, okay, let's see what this is about. And the verse is really short. And we find it in the scriptures. And it says, Psalms 96:1 says, sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord all the earth. You see, that part of sing to the Lord a new song really caught my attention. Because it's not the only place where it talks about it. We see it in Psalm 33:3. Sing to him a new song, play skillfully, shout with joy. Isaiah 42:10. Sing to the Lord a new song, sing his praise to the end of the earth. A new song. So I began to think, I can't compose music. I'm sorry, I could barely play like 3 keys on the keyboard. And then you want to sing a new song. How many lyricists do we have in here? Oh, come on, I know y'all are shy. Y'all are being shy. Brother, I think Brother Christian wrote a song. I'm sure Manny has written songs. But I began to think like, okay, a new song. So I began to pray about it. Because if you're like me, you're probably thinking the same thing. Are we supposed to have a new song every Sunday? Because some of these are on a repeat. I'm not gonna lie. Now, don't get me wrong, I love them. But we sometimes will stick to some of those worship songs. And I'll tease my leaders about it, like, hey, we're gonna play this one again, are you sure? And they say, yes, be quiet, and I have to be quiet. But I'm like, okay, so are we supposed to come here and just create a song out of nowhere? Or just, I don't know, like just play some notes together? I don't know. I can't even sing. And so I began to just think about it. And I began to pray about it. And God began to speak. You see, although it is amazing to create songs to God and compose new songs, the Bible is not necessarily talking about that. Rather, a new song is a fresh response to the goodness of God. It is a fresh response. It is a new response to what God is doing in your life. Sing a new song. Have a fresh response to his newness every day. You know that freedom is new to you every single day. It is a fresh response to what God is doing. An action of praise motivated by the newest things of God. A new song it's motivated by new miracles that are happening, new forgiveness, new provisions, new things that are happening. New hope, new understanding. It's new every single day. A new inspiration to worship again and again. Now, let me just kind of give you some perspective. And I'm going to pick on the married couples in here, or ones that have been together for some time now. Men, how did you feel the first time you got home from work and you were working hard and you had a nice hot meal waiting for you? Tortillas were fresh, homemade. They're not the H-E-B ones. I like the H-E-B tortillas, I'm not gonna lie. Those are my favorite. But you got home and everything was ready. Had your favorite soda there. I'm sure it's Dr. Pepper, right? All right. Oh, Big Red. I heard Big Red. All right. But it was there, nice and cold, just waiting for you. You got there and you sat and you ate like a king. Woo! How much gratitude just filled up. Like, what can I do for you now? Women, don't think I was gonna let you off easy. How did you feel the first time you got your man, he walked and he saw you about to pick something up and he said, no, babe, hold up. I got it, babe. He picked it up. You don't have to carry that, babe. I got you. It's like, not even that heavy, but got you. Right? And you were just filled with like, oh my God, he's so strong. He does so much for me. Or when he took your car to go put gas and you didn't ask him to. Yeah? Oh, that hasn't happened yet. Okay, sorry. But you have this, you had this sense of gratitude, like, oh my gosh, look at this, what he's doing for me. Or on the other side of the man, like, oh man, she cooked for me. She took time out of the day. She cleaned up my mess. She picked up my shoes, my stuff that even though the hamper was right here, I put my clothes right here and she got it and she put it in the hamper. I'm getting y'all in trouble, ain't I? But you were just filled with so much. You had this fresh sense of gratefulness for the gesture. But then what happens a couple years down the line? Same gesture, but is it the same response? Same thing happening, but is it the same gratitude? Is it the same sense of gratefulness? We should have a fresh sense of gratefulness for the things that are done over and over again. God will do things for you over and over again, every single day. And our response should be a new song every single day. God's grace, His mercy, everything that God is new to you every single day. You wake up because He protected you through the night. He woke you up for a new day. So I said, okay, God, we should have a fresh response. But if you're like me, you always ask the question, why? Why don't we? What is it? I always tell my youth, like, hey, it's okay to ask God why, because all you're doing is opening an opportunity for Him to answer you. God will bring clarification. And maybe it's not at that time, but He will. Eventually, you'll look back and understand why God did what He did. But in order for us to have this fresh response to His goodness every single day, there's some things that have to happen. There's some things that have to happen. You have to open your heart. But not to receive something, not just to receive something, but to take some stuff out. There's some stuff in here that you got to take out. I just want to remind you, I was blessed by this word. So I don't come to you as someone that's, well, I got it together. No, I humble myself because God speaks to me. You got to take some things out. There are some things in your heart that have to be taken out. And it is amazing to me that our pastor preached about one of them that I want to just touch on real quick. Because sometimes you'll get like, because when we open our hearts, it's not just to just put things in. Sometimes you have to take some stuff out. It's like, when I was reading this, it reminded me of how when I was growing up, the I can't believe it's not butter bucket was never like butter. I don't know why, but that's just how we did it. But the butter had to come out first before my mom could put the salsa in there or the leftovers. The butter had to come out first before she put the breakfast. Side note, I didn't know what Tupperware was until I met my wife. To be honest. I thought the Cool Whip cans and the can't believe it's not, I thought that was Tupperware. Like, oh, we put it in those things. But when we open our hearts, it's not just to receive, because sometimes we got to take things out. One of the things we have to take out is our pride. We have to get our pride out. Pride says, I deserve this. I earned this. Me. Psalm 10:4. It says, in his pride, the wicked man does not seek him. In all his thoughts, there is no room for God. When we have pride sitting in our hearts, it is our thoughts and our will. There's no room for God's will. There is no room for the thoughts of God. Pride will blind you to see what God is truly doing in your life. It will blind you. You won't have understanding. You won't have this faith. You won't have, because you'll be worried and you'll be trying to figure things out on your own. It produces a sense of entitlement. Let me tell you this. It's difficult to have gratitude towards something that you think you deserve. It is difficult to have gratitude towards something you think I deserve. I can't be thankful for that because I earned it. It produces this sense of entitlement. It's difficult to show appreciation for something you think you earned. And I've been there. God, I've been giving my tithes. Like, what's up with the house? What's up with the new car? I still got this old one. I'm still living with my parents. But I've been faithful, God. Shouldn't you do something? I deserve it. God, I prayed a little bit more. I went to church. I didn't miss Sunday this whole month. Yeah. So don't I deserve this, God, what I'm asking for? I called pastor. I checked on pastor. We had a conversation. Does that count for something? Nobody's going to call you this week, pastor. But we have this sense of me. I did this, God. I've been paying my tithes, so you owe me on this one. There's nothing that you and I can do to earn the goodness and grace of God. It is his love for us. It is what he did. He sent his son to die on the cross. Pride will give you this false sense of entitlement, and I'm telling you, it will blind you. You won't look past yourself. You won't be able to, because you have something inside your heart. There's a story that I shared not too long ago about my father. My dad, if you don't know, he is a pastor. And my dad went to Bible school. And he did the work, he put in the time, passed the test. I don't know how it works. But he did everything he was supposed to, and he got out, and he was ready to go. I'm good. I got my credentials. I did my time. I can pastor now. And he goes to the church. Probably Bible in his hand, right? I'm ready to go. The pastor there says, okay, I want you to clean the restrooms. Excuse me? I can imagine, I don't know how my dad felt or how he reacted, but I know how I would react. Like, what? Let me show you my certificate, because I don't think you saw this right. Here, Gilbert Ramos finished class of this, ready to pastor. But no, clean the restrooms. My father shared with me that he did this for over a year. Never preached, never taught. Everything that he was trained to do wasn't at use for a whole year. And all he did was clean and clean and clean. He did the stuff that nobody wanted to do. See, but if pride stepped into his heart, he would have left that church, and God knows what could have happened from there. But he humbled himself. He said, I'm not going to let pride blind me. I'm going to have faith in God because God has brought me here. And I'm going to listen to what my pastor is saying. I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. And I'm going to let God lead me. And he is still a pastor till today. The second thing that we need to get out of our hearts, first one, pride. Second one, being arrogant. Arrogance. Pride says, I deserve this. Arrogance says, I did this. I did this. Arrogance will make you think that you have what you have because of what you did. I did this. This is why I got the car. This is why I got the house. This is why I got the job. This is why I have the business. It was me. It reminded me of a story of my son, Jordan. We decided to take a fishing trip. And if you don't know, like, you have to have some patience sometimes when it comes to fishing. And of course, my kids, they don't have patience sometimes. And so we were out there fishing, and I remember my wife was with her favorite son, our dog, out on the beach, and they were at the beach, and we went out to the pier, and they were playing at the beach, and my little one was out there. And I remember my wife called, she's like, hey, Jordan wants to go fish. So I'm like, okay, yeah, bring him out here. So what I did is I threw my line out, boom. Wait, I got a fish, but I left it there. I said, okay, boom, I put it down. Poor fish is off. Let me go. And so I left it out there, and here comes Jordan. And he's like, Dad, have you caught anything? I'm like, no, Papa, I haven't. I was like, maybe you will, though. And he's like, okay. He's like, can I try? I was like, yeah. And he's about to grab another pole. I'm like, no, not that one. Just try this one. I don't know, just try it. He grabs a pole, and he's just there. He feels something, and he looks at me, and I'm just like, you good? He's like, and then he feels a tug, and he's like, it's like happened so fast. And by the way, he doesn't know this, so if y'all tell him, you're gonna break his heart, so. So anyways, he's out there, and and I'm like, is it a fish? It is a fish. He's like, I think so. I'm like, well, bring it in. Let's see. Maybe it's not, but I don't know. So he's like, bring it in. Dad, it's a big one. Dad, I think it's a big one. I'm like, okay, bring it in. It was like that big little catfish. But he brings it, and he's like, what do I do? I'm like, bro, bring it up. He brings it over. I'm like, man, and he's so proud. He looks at the fish, he's like, oh, man. Till today, he'll remind me of that. Like, Dad, remember I went out there, and I just caught that fish real fast, and you hadn't? One day, when he's old, I'm going to tell him. Unless he watches his live, then it's all over. But he'll remind me. But I wonder how many times God has done something for us, and we go back and say, look what I did. Did you see how I did this? Did you see how I went to school and I earned my credentials? Did you see how I went into this company and I got promoted? Did you see how I went and did this? You see how my kids are being raised? You see this? I wonder how many times we're just like Jordan, where yeah, we did something great and we think it's all us. But our Father is standing there like, it's because I was here. It's because I was here. You see, that sense of arrogance that is in our hearts sometimes will make us think that we are the ones that are doing it. That's the type of character we need to change in our lives. It's not what we do. It's not, this is what I was able to do. Look at me. Look at what I accomplished. Look what I made. For those of you that know my testimony, you know that I stand here before you not because of what I've done, but because what God has done in my life. I am here before you because what God has done for me in my marriage, in my kids, in my relationship with my parents, in my relationship with my brothers. Everything that has happened to me is not because of me. It has always been God. If it wasn't for the strength that he gives you every single day, you may not have been able to overcome that situation. If it wasn't for his protection, you might not even be here on this earth. If it wasn't for him protecting you, you might not have been here. Two things we have to get rid of in our hearts: pride and arrogance. When you have pride and arrogance, when you have arrogance, when you think it's me, you have no reason to be grateful. Because it's what I did. When you begin to take out that arrogance, what you do is you let humility set in to your heart. You begin to be humble because of the things that you've taken out. Humility is a healthy acknowledgement of our faults and failures. It's a healthy acknowledgement. Humility is not to think less of yourself, it's to think, let me make sure I read this right, because I want to make sure you get it. It's not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. It's not, I'm not smart, so I can't do that. I'm worthless. That's not humility. It's saying, okay, God, you've given me abilities, you've given me talents, you've given me gifts. But no matter what you've given me, I still give it back to you, God. I still need you, God. No matter how many books I've read, no matter how many classes I've taken, I still need you, God. I still need your grace and understanding every single day. I still need your love, God. I need your love every single day because there are people that I want to love on. And I don't care how long I've been married. I need your love to continue loving. You will begin to see that when you take this pride and arrogance out, humility will step in and you will begin to see what God is truly doing all around you. You begin to see how he is moving, how he is making decisions for you, how he is protecting you, how he is protecting your family, your loved ones. I can't be around my kids 24/7. I was talking to Jason just this morning, telling him how we let our son, he's getting a bit older, we let him go hang out with his friends, and I was just like, oh man, I don't know. And I was like there in the place, and I couldn't leave, and God says, hey, I'm his protector. I will cover him. There's gonna be moments where he's gonna be by himself, and I'm going to protect him. If there's someone who could protect your loved ones more than you, it's God. I said, okay, God, he's in your hands. You see, a fresh response to what God is doing is being able to see what God is doing. Knowing that you wake up every day because he protected you. Knowing that you could get to work because he provided the job. Knowing that you have someone to go home to because he loves you that much. Everything that he has given you is not because of what we have done, but everything that God has done. And it's an everyday thing. Bible says, sing to me a new song. Just because it is something that has happened that God has done over and over again, doesn't mean that we give up on the praise and worship that we should give to him. Doesn't mean that we say, well, God doesn't protect my kids, that's cool, whatever. No. You humble yourself and you get on your knees and you say, God, thank you. Because you are protecting them more than I could ever. Because you are showing me love, the perfect love. It's humbling yourself. You see, we sang a song today. I'm going to ask the worship team to make their way back. Sometimes we will come here and we will sing and just read what's on the back here. And we begin to just sing what everyone's singing. But your heart's not in it. Your heart's not in it. True worship comes from the heart. True worship comes from here. True worship comes from a place when I wasn't supposed to be here. I should have been in jail. I should have been dead. I should have been gone. My kids shouldn't be here, but they are here only by the grace of God. And because of that, God, I give it to you. My worship. Yes, you've done it before, God, but you're going to continue to do it. And I believe in that. See, God is doing things in your lives, and I know this for a fact. Everything he is doing in your lives, he's moving things around. He's protecting you from people. He's moving you from place to place. And you might feel lost, but trust me, you're not. You might feel alone, but you're not. You might feel like you're not getting anywhere, but trust me, you are going somewhere. Our freedom is new every single day. But we have to be willing to humble ourselves and say, it's not about me. I couldn't do this. I got to get that attitude out. I got to get that sense of perspective away, because if it wasn't for God, I wouldn't be here. When you do that, you will begin to have a fresh response to what God is doing. See, we sang a song and it sounded beautiful. And I want us to, you can stand to your feet.